Hi, my name is Sanne Willems. I work in the Netherlands Embassy in Nairobi in Kenya since the last 3 years. I work specifically on food security and water.
Hello, my name is Rose Mackenzie and I work at the Embassy on Water and Food Security as a policy officer since 2014.
So an embassy does a lot of different things, and the embassy in Nairobi is not different from others. It's slightly bigger than most of the Netherlands embassies in the world. We have a large section working on development aid, and that's where we fit in. On top of that, we also have people that work specifically on trade. We have a consular section where people come to apply for visa and Dutch people can extend their passports. And then we have also representatives of other ministries than the foreign ministry, like the Ministry of Defense and the Ministry of Agriculture. They all have representatives in the embassy that work either on security, on trade, or on customs issues.
Currently, we are implementing our new strategy, which builds on the experience of the previous strategy, which we call the multi-annual strategic plan. And this covered 4 years from 2014 to 2017. And we had food security still as a thematic pillar under this particular strategic plan. And under this food security thematic pillar, we had a focus on market-led approaches through our value chains. And at the same time, these were aimed at enabling us achieve our aid to trade agenda, which we had embarked on with the aim of moving from aid to trade by the year 2020. In our market-led approaches, we focused on 3 main value chains where we believe that the Dutch have an added and a comparative advantage in, and these were dairy, horticulture, and aquaculture. And one of the components that we focused in building capacity on was the topic access to finance. With access to finance, we mainly looked at the entire value chain and sought to basically see where we could strengthen the possibilities of increasing access to finance in the agricultural space. So we worked with farmers in strengthening their capacity building around record keeping. We worked with financing institutions as well.
So we have started implementing our new strategy from 2019 this year, and it's slightly different from what we did in the past. In the past, we had a number of projects in the food security field, as Rose just described, on market-led approaches. And we also had a number of projects in the water sector, water supply, sanitation, and water financing. And these programs were separated. They didn't come together. So we had a pillar of food security projects and a pillar of water projects. What we see now with climate change is that the water situation is changing in the country. Rain is more erratic, less predictable, more rain is coming sometimes, and there's longer periods of drought. And these two sectors are very strongly influencing each other. Water is mainly used by agriculture. 70 to 80% of the water available in the country, or the water used, is used by agriculture, and others are industry and domestic use. While the water also has a big influence on the food security. There's no food being produced without water. So we thought it wasn't a good idea to bring these sectors closer together. And at the moment we're developing projects where we have both topics in one program. We also have a slight shift of geographical areas. With the value chain programs on dairy, horticulture, and aquaculture, we work mainly on the wetter areas of this country. But if you look at Kenya, about 80% of the country is dry. We call them the ASAL areas. It's the arid and semi-arid lands. And there, of course, people are living and food can be produced. Food also includes cattle, beef, but also certain crops, but different crops are growing. So we're looking in how we can influence the water and the food security sector so they can influence each other in a positive way. Explain you a little bit the assignment that we're asking from you to carry out during the coming months. As Rose has introduced, we were working in value chains and we're introducing often Dutch new technologies to farmers to improve their farming processes. But a common bottleneck in basically all of the programs we were working on was access to finance, and then access to finance specifically for the farmers, small scale, medium scale farmers, but also access to finance for for the suppliers of goods, of inputs, of mechanization products. So on different levels. We also integrated or introduced a number of initiatives and programs. But if we look at and what we have achieved, the main bottleneck remains financing for the farmers. And we know a lot of different programs have tried to tackle this issue, and also successfully. So what we are looking at is for you to go through a number of these programs, businesses, projects that have actually succeeded in tackling this issue, and not specifically in Kenya but around the world, and then look deeper into these examples and propose one of the mechanisms or systems with probably different stakeholders, different partners, and introduce it to us so we can hopefully upscale it. It doesn't mean that we as an embassy ourselves will upscale it, but we're also working with other financial institutions that are looking for what models could work and could we put our financing. So in principle there is large-scale financing for this, but the mechanisms on how to get it in a sustainable way to the farmers is what we're looking for.
We are looking forward to engaging young, inquisitive minds to look into this particular topic, access to finance, from their own perspective, and to bring on board what probably we could have missed out on when engaging on this topic, as we've mentioned that we have in the previous programs. In addition, we would like as an embassy to also share with these young students our on-the-ground experiences, so that they can also be able to bring or have an opportunity to bring their theory together with practical experience on the ground.